and joining us to break it all down is our Cowboys Insider Ed Werder. Were you as shocked by this news as the rest of us were?
Yeah, Jerry Jones proving you can actually lose before the season even starts. I don't think we expected that this was going to happen. You just don't trade, transformative young generational pass rushers like Micah Parsons. I mean, there is value in that on defense, and that's what he did. He's an elite pass rusher. He's only 26 years old, and trading him to the Packers of all teams, a team that 3 times in recent years has ended the Cowboys season in the playoffs, including what Jerry described in the Netflix documentary in tears as the worst loss he's ever experienced, 2 years ago to the Green Bay Packers. Now the Packers become one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, he spent 45 minutes last night to justify this trade. I don't know what he said for that 45 minutes. Yeah, that feels like there's no there. Micah Parsons isn't an ideal run stopper, but finding a good pass rusher is a lot harder.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at, recent NFL trades of defensive magnitude, Reggie White transformed Green Bay. Charles Haley. Jerry Jones said you couldn't spell Super Bowl without Charles Haley. Yeah, they need to stop the run. But that should have been an organizational, philosophical priority made around the time of the draft back in, March and April, when if you decide to trade Micah Parsons, you get picks and you use them right away to improve your team. They showed no indication based on how they handle their personnel moves in the offseason that they were going to prioritize run defense. I mean, they drafted 2 defensive tackles, which is a position, Kenny Clark plays, the player coming from Green Bay to Dallas. But he's 30 years old. He's coming off across-the-board career lows. They drafted 2 defensive tackles, only one of whom made the team. They waited until 200 players had been drafted. They took these 2 players in the 7th round. So this doesn't seem to make sense.
Yeah, there's a saying about this, about something on my leg and tell me it's raining. I'll let you look that up. But when it's all said and done, yes or no, are the Cowboys a better team today than they were yesterday?
Jerry says, that's not out of the realm of possibility, but I don't see how 7 days before you play at the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles in your season opener with a first-time head coach, with a 3rd defensive coordinator in 3 years, how you've made your team better by trading one of your 3 best players, certainly your best defensive player, arguably the best player on the entire roster. The Cowboys are not better equipped going into Philadelphia next Thursday night and winning that game.
And I'm curious, Ed, when this deal was finalized, when it really happened.
Well, Jerry Jones said it all finally came together, yesterday afternoon. But this had been a conversation and a thought process that had traced all the way back to April when Jerry Jones first met with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons said the conversation was about leadership, and Jerry then turned it into talk about his contract. Anyway, Jerry Jones says they went back and forth, got very detailed, and in his mind, they worked out the parameters of a contract extension. In his mind, Micah Parsons then wanted to introduce his agent, David Mulugeta, one of the best in the league, to the equation. Jerry felt like, we're not starting negotiation now. We've already been deeply involved in this negotiation. I think Jerry took it personally. Ultimately, this had to happen. Jerry wanted some resolution, understandably so, with the season about to start. And, they announced that Micah Parsons was cleared from the supposed back injury that kept him sidelined, obviously in a contract dispute. And so Micah's reaction to that was to go out to LA yesterday and try and find a doctor who would give a conflicting medical opinion so that he would retain the option of not playing, not practicing, and still earning his paycheck.
Well, a lot of people hear this, and it benefits Jerry Jones to negotiate directly with the player. But if you're the player, you need your agent. You wouldn't buy a house without a real estate agent working on your behalf. Same thing here. And maybe when it's all said and done, a guy who could have been a future Ring of Honor caliber player, Jerry looks in the mirror and regrets this. For 45 minutes he talked. I'm still not sure that it made any sense. I'm curious, when you talk to other insiders around the league, what's the temperature on this trade?
Well, Jerry's been seeking football credit as a general manager for 36 years. And now he's going to get football blame in the opinion of those around the league who just don't see this to be the right time to be. Everybody's trying to gather assets and start the season, with your strongest possible roster. Instead, the Cowboys greatly compromise their roster. Yeah, they have enormous cap space. Only New England has more. They're the only team in the league with not only 2 first-round picks in next year's draft, but 2 first-round picks the year after that. So if they want to move on from Dak Prescott as their quarterback, and Jerry referenced several times last night that Dak Prescott's the highest paid player in the league. He's 2-5 in the postseason. He's 32 years old, coming off a variety of injuries. So if they want to try and get Arch Manning or some other quarterback in the next 2 years, they now have the resources to do that, but they have not made themselves a better team to begin this season. In fact, I think people could argue that Jerry gave up on the season, gave up on Brian Schottenheimer's first year before the season even started.
I know for fans, they're scratching their head. Jerry talked, like I said, for a while. I'm still not sure what it was really about. He argues football reasons. Was it really, when it's all said and done, about ego?
I think it was personal. I think Jerry Jones has been criticized in recent years because he lost two, contract negotiations to Dak Prescott. He lost to CeeDee Lamb. He lost to Zach Martin. He really lost to Ezekiel Elliott when he held out in Cabo, and Jerry brought him back 4 days before the start of the season. I think Jerry wanted a win, and he felt like he had the leverage with the player under contract and having 2 more years of potential control through the franchise tag. This was the one he felt like he could win, but I think this might be the biggest loss of them all.